What's up, culture makers? My name is Kaitlyn.
And I'm Whitney. And today we're talking about how you can own your own progress.
We're also talking about celebrity vulnerability.
Ooh, and another thing we're talking about is something going around social media. I think it's called Pilk. Let's go. Okay, let's start off with our big question. How do we own our own progress?
That's good. I think for me, especially with the personality type that I have, sometimes seeing and choosing to see my own growth and progress is a challenge. And one of my best friends in the entire world gave me this analogy of a batting average. For your batting average, it is the average times that you go up to the plate and you either swing and miss, strike out, get out, or you get on base. That number accumulates through the whole season, so you can kind of see your progress pretty tangibly as a batter in sports.
Okay.
For me, that's a really helpful analogy when it comes to thinking about my own growth and progress, because it goes to show that the goal is not perfection. Because if the goal for me was perfection, man, I'd never get up to the plate because I might miss.
Yeah.
And it would hold me back from doing things that are difficult, challenging, new, scary, whatever. And I want to be somebody that is willing to take the risk, even though I might fall short.
Right.
So when I choose to see my progress like a batting average, something that over time I can continue to grow and change and work on, then man, I'm going up to the plate and I'm swinging. That's fun and exciting for me instead of like scary and daunting. So that's the first thing that I think about when it comes to seeing my own progress is like, can I see it kind of like a batting average? Or do I see it more as like a pass or fail type of thing?
I really like that, because sometimes you can overthink things where it's like, oh, I have to do this, I have to be at this level. But when you average it out, it gives you room for mistakes. It gives you room for growth too.
Right.
I really like that analogy.
But another thing that I do, Whitney, when I'm thinking about my own growth and progress is I've learned to think through and ask myself a set of questions. So question number one is there someone that I can trust to be honest with me, that I can ask for feedback for ways that they have seen me grow and change and develop over time?
That's really good.
For you, do you have anyone in your life that you kind of ask those kind of questions to?
I mean, yes, I have to be very selective though, because sometimes people can be really insert input all the time and it might not be the best. Like if they're the type of person who just wants to give feedback and it may be not always positive. I don't know. I really have to make sure that they see me for me. They know what I want. They're in the same mindset as me and then really just wants the best for me, not just giving me suggestions and input based on their thoughts or feelings.
Sure.
So yeah, but having a trusted person that, you know, can just say, hey, was I being crazy? Or did I do this well?
Yeah.
Am I overthinking this?
Yeah.
This is good to have.
Yeah, absolutely. So something that my counselor told me is self-awareness can only go so far. Self-awareness is huge, like knowing ourselves and the way that we are, like, we tend to react to and respond to certain things. So helpful, total game changer. But she compared it to our vision. And she's like, at a certain point, your peripheral vision stops. Like, I can't see this finger anymore. It's over here, and I know that it's over here, but I can't see it anymore. And that's why I need community. That's why I need people like you in my life, because when I lose vision and I can't see back here behind my head, I need someone to tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
And so that's why we need people in our lives who we show up and we are our authentic selves around, so that they can give us that perspective that we might be missing. Next question is, what can you do today that you couldn't do at this same point last year? So go into your mind around Christmas time last year. What were you feeling? What were you working on? What things were you struggling with that maybe now today are pretty easy? Maybe you don't struggle with them the same way that you used to. Maybe you're in a completely different place. What can you do today? What's a skill that you have or a character quality that you've developed that you didn't have last year? Any examples?
I knew you were going to put me on the spot. I would have to say, honestly, saying no.
Ooh.
Like last year, I was driving an hour and a half one way to work.
Wow.
And I'm a people pleaser. So if they were like, hey, can you be here at 7:30? I'm like, sure, I'll be there. They wouldn't know that I was driving an hour and a half. So it was like, I'll just suck it up. I'll wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and then just do it. In that moment, in that time, it really had to enforce me to be able to say no, or really just be like, okay, I don't have to do everything.
Yeah, that's good.
Or even just communicate, because maybe that time worked best for them, or there was something that could be switched, but if I don't say no or ask questions, you never know. And so then I'm just wearing myself out. And then that's not good on myself, or mentally or physically.
Rip
or
Whitney's sleep schedule.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need sleep.
Anyways, so that is our question. What can you do today that you couldn't do at this same point last year? Another question that's kind of similar, but a little bit different, a little more introspective. What are you thinking about, responding to, or living out differently than you were at this same time last year? I think one of the areas of growth and change that gets most undervalued is our thought life. But that is the seed bed of all of the growth and the change, because man, the thoughts that we think become the words that we say, and the words that we say become the things that we believe.
Absolutely.
And the things that we believe become the actions that we take, and the actions that we take are the people that we become.
Come on!
Absolutely.
And so it all starts here. And I think for me, that has been one of the areas that has been most undervalued as far as growth, change, and progress. So for me, examining what are the things that I am thinking about, and choosing to think about the things that I think about, and run them through these filters of, is this good? Is it true? Is it helpful? And is it kind? Choosing to see and recognize progress in my thought life, in the things that I'm thinking, even the things that I'm thinking about myself, is a big, big game changer for me.
Years ago, I used to hang out with a group of friends who were very materialistic, only wanted the best things. And that started making me feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I need to have this too. I need to be this way. And it would just make me decline, where I was constantly negative, constantly thinking, oh, they don't have the best interest in me. Like, it's all selfish. But it's like, as soon as you can make that switch in your thoughts and change the people who you're around, change the things that you're saying, you're feeling, all of that kind of stuff. It's like there's like a complete shift that just changes, and then it just becomes natural. To have that more positive things, or not think the worst of somebody all the time, and be like, maybe they're just having a bad day. Or, just reach out to them as a friend. And then you find out that they didn't mean it that way, but it's all because of that mind shift where you see something from a different perspective.
Yeah, it's great.
And then it just gets so much better. But you're totally right. It all starts with your thoughts.
Last thing that we would suggest that you guys think through as kind of a question to filter through is, what do you know about God now that you didn't know before? In what new ways have you seen him show up? And have you experienced his love? Because, man, Whitney, I think for me, one of the biggest ways that I want to see progress in my life is me growing closer and being more intimately connected to Jesus every single day. And the closer in step with him that I am, the better that I'm going to show up in every other area of my life.
Absolutely.
And so we would challenge you guys to think through these questions. Who can you ask to give you good, honest feedback about how you're growing? What can you do today that you couldn't do at this same point last year? What are you thinking about and responding to differently than you were before? And what do you know about God that you didn't know before?
So celebrity news, Selena Gomez, she speaks about some of her experience with bipolar disorder, lupus, anxiety. And I've noticed there's a lot of celebrities who are really being vulnerable in what they're going through. And I know for me, I enjoy that because it's like, I'm not alone. When these celebrities can be vulnerable with us, to me, humanizes them.
Wow, that's
you know, like
good.
it shows me that, you know, they're real people too. They struggle with this stuff all the time.
I actually read an article in the New York Times about how like students across the entire world are feeling about the level of celebrity vulnerability, like from people like Taylor Swift to all the way through. And what stood out from that article is, by and large, what you said is that generally, like, we all feel like, man, it's really good to know that I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
We have conversations like this where it's like, oh, you too? Yeah, me too. And those are kind of things that like bring us closer together and help us find that sense of community. But I think there is something to, hey, even the people that we look up to, even the people that we may admire for this, that, and the other are still going through stuff. And they still need community.
Absolutely.
And they still need people praying for them. So the more that I hear these things coming out, and the more that I see some of the tragedies and the things that are just like going on in the world, the more I'm like, dang, I need my people, and I need my people to be praying.
Absolutely.
So that's probably the biggest thing that stands out to me about the level of vulnerability that we've seen this year. And speaking of celebrities,
I have something for you.
I'm so scared.
We have fun. You and I, we have fun.
So she's referencing the time she slapped me with a tortilla in the face.
Oh! 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 Yeah.
That was really fun for her.
I know you've seen it. It's the Pepsi. Okay, first off, what was Pepsi thinking? Lindsay Lohan. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But Pepsi and milk?
Who decided? Did she decide this was a good idea?
Did
they decide this was a good idea?
What do you guys think?
Sweet baby Jesus.
6 pound, 8 ounce. Wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger, baby Jesus.
Yes, love that guy.
Right? Do we stir it?
I'm gonna barf. All right.
Cheers, friend.
Cheers. Honestly, it just tastes like Pepsi.
It's not bad. It's like a flat.
It just tastes like Pepsi, y'all. She's adding more.
I don't know. Y'all should try this at home.
Yeah, try it. If you barf, I'm sorry, but...
I would say more milk and less Pepsi ratio. Yeah.
It's getting worse.
What is happening?
So that was the Pilk challenge. Our actual challenge of the week. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
My stomach feels kind of bad. Okay.
I feel like I have to burp.
Our actual challenge of the week is to journal through those questions that we talked about above. If journaling is something that is new for you, just pick one. Just pick one of the questions that we talked about today and start there. Start small. Journal a couple sentences, maybe about something that you couldn't do last year that you can do now.
Yeah.
Or maybe something that you learned about God this year. Just pick one thing and write it down. And what's cool about that, Whitney, is that when we write it down, it actually like physically lives somewhere now. And when I need to be reminded of my progress, I can go back and look at my journal. Yeah. Say, man, like this year, I learned all these things that I didn't know before. And that's something that I've been doing since I was maybe a freshman in high school, is just like writing stuff down, writing my prayers down, writing down things that I'm learning and whatever. And I still have all of those journals.
That's good.
I can like go back and look at the ways that I have grown, the things that God has taught me, and just the ways that I'm closer to Him than I ever was before. So it's pretty cool.
That is cool. And I think, like, for me, when I write things down, it stays in my brain, like, more. You know, like, I can say things, but when I write it down, it literally, like, lives somewhere in here.
Okay, that's all we have for you guys today. We love you. We're excited to see the ways that you're growing, and we're excited to see you right back here next week on Culture Makers. Bye-bye.
See you guys.